How's it going, YouTube? It's me, it's graffixg, and I'm here to help you become better at autopsies and graveyard keeper. Your goal of an autopsy and graveyard keeper is to have as many white skulls as possible with no red and no green skulls. White skulls are going to be your basic skulls. A grave's rating cannot exceed the number of white skulls that are on the body. Red skulls are going to give a -1 rating to the body, and a green skull, which will not start to appear until your body has degraded below 90%, will also give a -1 rating to the body. There's no way currently to get rid of a green skull, so really try hard not to run into one of those. So what you're going to want to do to get everything to a white skull is going to be taking out body parts. So for this, blood and fat will take one red skull and turn it into a white skull. So we can take out on pretty much every body. You're going to want to take out blood and fat. So now here we go. We have no red skulls, no green skulls, all white. That body is complete. It's good to be put into the grave. Another thing you may run into is if you only have one red skull. For this, again, you can take off the blood and get that red skull over to a white one. But now you may ask yourself, well, what else can I do? I still have fat. If you remove the skull of the body, it will actually add one red skull to the thing. So we've upped it by one skull, but it's red. No worries, we have fat that we can still remove, and that's going to turn that one red into white. So here we are, a body with all white skulls, no red, no green, nothing else we can do to that body. It's ready to be buried. This is where things get interesting. When you have 3 skulls, when you have 3 red skulls, you may think to yourself, I can take off blood, I can take off fat, well, that'll get rid of 2 of them, but I can't get rid of the 3rd one. That's where the important parts come into play. You have heart, intestines, and brain. All 3 do the same thing. They'll take away 2 random skulls. So whenever we take off the intestines, it's going to take off either 2 red, 2 white, or 1 red and 1 white. When a body is generated, it is already determined which item will do what. So if you save right before you do an autopsy on a 3 red skull body, you can just restart it if you chose the wrong item. We took out the intestines, we got rid of 2 red skulls, so here we're left with what we had just a second ago, 1 red skull. So we're going to do the exact same thing we just did. We're going to take out blood to take that red over to a white, take out the skull, which is again going to add 1 red skull, and then we're left with that. We'll take out the fat. And that's going to leave us with all white skulls, no red, no green. And this body is ready for being put in the grave. But you may ask yourself, there's 3 more items I haven't talked about: bone, flesh, and skin. Bone and flesh are going to do the same thing. Bone and flesh are going to reduce your skull count by 1, starting with white skulls. So it's always going to remove 1 white skull. So we just take out the bone. If we take out the flesh, we're going to see it's going to also take 1 white skull away. So now we're down to 4. The skin is going to take 1 white skull and turn it into a red skull. So now we're left with this. Pretty much you never want to take off the skin, the flesh, or the bone of a body that you intend on burying, because it's going to give a negative rating to your body. Early game, if you have bodies that you're not going to be able to use, taking away the flesh and the skin are going to help you, because those are going to be used in crafting materials later, as crafting materials. So if you have a body you can't use, go ahead and take off the flesh, take off the skin, and use those later. And whenever you have a body that you can't use, you don't want to do anything with it, just throw it in the river. We don't need it. Float away. Go home. And that, everybody, is Autopsy in a nutshell. That's everything you need to know as far as getting your bodies to be the best quality you can in the quickest way. What I say is, every time you get a body, know what you want to do with it and do it every time. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please click everything down below. And until next time, y'all have a great one. Bye.